So we can
And
see.
we are live Wednesday night with those guys. How you doing there, Lawrence?
What's up? What's up? What's up? And welcome to Wednesday nights with those guys. What's going on? How are you? I'm fine.
I'm good. I'm just gonna go in here and this.
All right, I'm
But
live.
yeah, how was your day?
It was okay. Remember this little Mobula? Remember I told you I got a drone and it burnt out a board or something, or the board came bad, and
Right.
they sent me a new one.
Mhm.
Well, I got it working, so that's a plus. In fact, I was at about 5 this morning. I'm in here while everybody sleep. So that was kind of fun. Hey, you guys watching from the outside, come on in. It'll be an interesting live stream tonight. So, how was your day? I mean, Pops came home. I'm glad to hear.
Yeah, I've been running up and down. It started from this morning. Well, actually, what happened was I was going over some things. I was working on a video I'm trying to get out, and I was up till about 3 o'clock in the morning, and then just as I was getting ready to turn the computer off, I got an alert that Roger was going live on Canadian Drone Hub. So I clicked over there and see what was going on, and Roger was there hanging out by himself. Hey, Mr. Crowley, how's it going?
What's up, Mr. Crowley? How are you? And when are we going to have you on here with us, man? You know, we would love to have you on here. I'm sure Herman would. What's up, EBR, FPV? How are you doing? How you doing? How you doing? But to keep you up with what's been happening with me, not a whole lot. I've been trying to do, as you notice, we haven't been flying as much because I've been taking personal days out to do that FPV thing.
Right.
Trying to get my birds up and running. I had too many birds that were not running. So I got my Mobula running. My Storm always was running. My Tiny Whoop here was running. These two are under construction, but I'm that much closer to having them operating. I mean, I decided to keep the 30-pound mallet in the back room where the lawnmower is, and I'm going to keep going. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I'm just reading. Mr. Crowley was saying, he's saying something here. He said, anytime, guys.
Okay, well, yeah, let's plan something for him to come on your stream next week, Wednesday or something.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll work it out during the week or after the show or something.
Right. Or you can come on the panel sometime later on this evening if Herman don't mind.
Well, I don't care.
Then you'll have his email, and we got a lot of drone news. And I told
Paul, what's up?
Hey, we're not going to go in. Hey, what's up, Paul? I'm not going to go into the drone news that I have, but I have some drone news that I can guarantee you no one else has.
Well, one of
them Geeks Vana has, but one of them is a drone company that slipped a drone past all of us out there. So we'll go into that after the stream fills up some. Hey, Paul, did you get a link? Yes, yes, 0 for no, please.
What I wanted to start with was that thing you just sent me, because you happen to know more on that than I do, and that kind of segues into a lot of the stuff that I was listening to with the symposium and the things that they were talking about.
Okay, well, let me send Paul the link in case he didn't get it from you.
Well, I have trouble sending anything to Paul.
I don't know what it is. I don't know. LINK. It's something screwy, but like you mentioned, you are the only person I know that can break shit.
Not me, not
electronically.
Find the problem.
This guy has more issues on electronic devices than people have on anything. I mean, I could take 5 people in the audience and find
device. I'll find out what's wrong with it.
Yeah. That's pretty much. If they say something can't happen, Herman will make it happen. electronically. I don't know why. He just has that golden touch when it comes to electronics. Paul,
You
I
know what I
sent you the
would look
link.
for?
Mr. Crowley, later on, if you want to come on, what's up above and beyond? Evening, how are you? Everyone, welcome to Wednesday nights. Herman wants to talk about some drone news before we start getting a bunch of panels in here. And he wanted to discuss something that I had sent him. And I'm trying to see if I have it up or, oh, you know what I have to do? I have to open up another window and bring it back up. I closed it
We
out. Are you
discussed
talking about the
one.
FAA, the one I just sent you?
Yeah, that one you just sent me. Because, like I said, I was, the symposium started Monday, and I was listening to a little bit of the seminar, a few of the programs that they had there, and I was basically listening to the one about lost my train of thought. They had one on the 107 and the 135, and we're talking about crawl, walk, run, I think it was, and then they had someone I was detection and avoidance.
Okay, Mr. Crowley. Right.
And detection and avoidance has a lot to do with what you were talking about. And it's funny that you mentioned that they wanted, or the article mentions that they were thinking about doing away with this, but it's funny that they did that or said this because there's a lot of things that's already known that can happen already that that is happening with the detection of the IDing and detecting.
Well, see, this is why when I found the article, I was like, huh? Didn't they just have a meeting at the symposium saying, hey, what's up, Paul?
How you doing, Paul?
And saying that they were going to issue RFIDs for all drones. And this would be so that we could know what the good people are doing and what the bad people are doing and just go after the bad people. And then they were saying that during the symposium, but they were also talking more about how the FAA and these drone companies are trying to ensure their safety as opposed to the hobbyist safety.
Hey, Mike Roach, how you doing?
Paul, what we're talking
Hey,
about is how they were talking about implementing the RFID for drones, right? And then I found an article that was put out by Commercial UAV News saying on May 29th, 2019, that the FAA is no longer implementing remote ID for drones by July. Have you seen or heard anything about this?
No, I have not, but I think that everything's all up in limbo. They don't know. The left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing because there's so many different departments. Because you've not only got regular drone pilots, you got commercial drone pilots, and then you got what I call commercial drone pilots like Amazon and everybody else that's going to be in the air. And I think they're trying to figure out how to sort it all out.
Actually, you're absolutely right, Paul, because I was checking out the symposium, and from what I gathered from watching it, is that the biggest problem in this whole game are the people that you last mentioned.
I'll be right
back. Amazons and them, they don't know how to fit in.
Yep.
And I think that what the biggest thing with what's going on with this is why I said when he talked about that, it brings into all of these things because like we already know when we spoke about this before that Wing Aviation and UPS are already doing this.
Yep.
And they're doing it under Part 135, and there's a major reason for that, and it's one reason and one reason only. But under Part 135, part of the classification for being able to operate in there, one of the things that you have to have is transponders.
Yep.
You must have.
Hold on a second. Above and Beyond said too many. He said the right thing in the chat room. There are too many groups, and each group has their own agenda. I needed to add on to that about there being too many groups.
There is, but like I was saying, with what the FAA and them are saying is that you need to be able to present where you want to operate, how you intend to operate, and an aircraft that you intend to operate with, present it. And we have to first make sure you're airworthy under a specific standard, because they don't want to change 107 and change 135 to meet them. They want them to meet those standards.
Yep.
And that's what's not happening yet.
I agree, and I don't think the FAA is capable of keeping up with the pace of technology changes, in that I know that Amazon and some of the big companies, they aren't going to want to deliver by drone at 30 miles an hour or 25 miles an hour. They're going to want to be able to deliver at 150 miles an hour. So therefore, how are you going to track that and get out of their way, you know?
But that all goes back to like what Lawrence was talking about, and then they discussed in this the event
symposium, the drone symposium.
Yeah, that thing.
If you guys don't know what the drone symposium is, it's during certain times of the year around this time where all the big wigs who have investments in these future drone highways, and I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to name any companies or anyone, but you know what I'm talking about. And this symposium is to talk about how they're going to change the FAA and they're going to change, and the FAA are going to change the rules so that these hobbyists are supposed to be able to fly here. These industrial drone companies are supposed to be able to fly here, and then we still have the commercial airplanes and everyone flying where the hell they want. The problem is with these symposiums, everybody comes with their own agenda.
Yep.
I come from Amazon. I'm working with Amazon Prime. Paul is working with Tesla. Okay. Yeah. Herman is working with DHL. Okay. And everyone's trying to say, well, we want people to meet our requirements.
Yep.
And right now, as a hobbyist, we're all being told to shut up and sit down in the corner and fly in that little park until we settle this shit.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll tell you what part you're going to play in this big grand scheme of things after we sort it all out, the way you slice up the pie the way we want it. If there's any crumbs left, we'll let you know.
Well, see, if you check it out and what they were saying, that event, they were saying that valley of death in that, and to be able to detect and avoid is that space of 400 and below. You understand? Where air traffic meets. Because if you're going to deliver, you got to come in. If you're going to land the plane, you got to come in.
Yep.
So what it is, that's the area where they need to be able to communicate. And the things that they were wondering, and the things that they actually were looking at to determine this was like, okay, how far do I need to be for it to be a miss? You know what I mean? Like, how far do I need to be for him to pass?
Yep.
Like, how many feet? You know what I mean? Is that passing space? You know, and all of that, like I said, everything has to take place with the technology, and that's why I said that it's left wide open.
Well, the miniaturization of technology is really going to push us to every one of our drones are going to have miniature transponders on them. Well, so that means we're going to have a radio in our belt. You're going to have headphones on with the microphone, and you're going to have to be able to respond. Say, this is XYZ 3579X, and I'm taking off from this location. I'll be flying at this altitude.
That's not a bad thing, Paul.
No, it isn't.
Why?
It isn't.
Because you know why? Because you were doing that back when we had to call in New York. You had to call the local airport.
Yep.
But then they came up with Lance and said, oh, you don't have to call the airport no more because Lance will contact the airport and let them know where you are. Well, Lance isn't working properly, is it? No. So now they're saying, okay, you can call the airport, but we're not guaranteeing that they'll approve it. And Above and Beyond Drone says 200 AGL is where we'll be pushed to. Well, here in New York, if you fly, they're already doing that Above and Beyond here in New York. There's a park.
You'll be able to get your 400.
There's a park right next to an airport, okay? And if you fly away from the airport, you can go to 400 or whatever. But the planes are taking off. When I say these planes are taking off and so close to this airport, it's within a 3-mile radius of the airport. And when the planes go by, Herman, can you or can you not read the writing on the bottom of those planes?
Yes.
Or make out lettering and numbers?
Yep.
Okay. But Now, all of a sudden, it used to be you could fly through the park towards the airport as long as you stayed low enough, and you could get to one end of Flushing Meadow Corona Park. Now you can't even cross the highway. Once you hit the highway, there's a geofence there. Okay, so now if you're a legitimate flyer, you say, okay, there's a geofence. I'm not going that way no more. I should tell all my friends not to go that way anymore. And that's what they do here in New York.
Yep.
But
Yep.
there are times in that same exact park, this is the point I'm getting to above and beyond. In that same exact park, there are times people load their drones in this mandated AMA airfield, and they can't go above 254 feet because the planes are taking off in that direction over you. No,
Now, you know what doesn't make any sense to me?
huh?
Why in the hell would they put an airfield so close to the airport? It didn't just happen. It's been there
Yes,
for
for
years.
From back
It's
back
been there
when
for
they had tethered
years.
planes, Paul, when planes were tethered.
It
Yep.
was a tethered park.
Yeah.
Yep.
That thing has been there for years. Why would you do that?
Well,
Okay.
the technology has changed, so it's pushing the seams on the whole system. You know, in other words, everything's going to start breaking.
Okay. There's
Well, you should
something
see
else
how
that I
high
wanted
some
to
of those
mention.
guys. What you say?
There's something else I wanted to mention, but I wanted to make sure you were done talking with your topic.
Oh no, well, this whole topic it can run on for hours because like I said, the symposium. I sat there and listened to it and listened till eventually it started to go like wah 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 wah
It
wah
did.
wah
It
wah.
did because all of the guys on the panel were saying, "Okay, we want to make it safer for our industrial companies." They
Yep.
wait.
I
The
understood
exact
that, but
word-
if you were listening carefully, there was a guy that was actually there speaking in behalf of the guys that fly 400 and below.
Yeah. But he didn't get to speak much.
Sure he did.
It's what it comes down to is all of these guys that are invested in this symposium that have this meeting every year. We get closer and closer to the drone highways being active. If you remember last year, they were talking about introducing drone highways to the FAA, and that the planes would be here, the drone highway would be here, and hobbyists would be here. Okay.
Yeah.
Now it has come to pass where they're issuing licenses. Like you sent me information today. Amazon just got the okay to fly, and they're talking about having drones in the air. Some MK or MT-250 something drone that
Right.
they're talking about. They're going to have it active in months.
Right, but then none of them are 107.
What's
They're
up?
not
What's up?
operating under
John.
107. Can't operate under 107 because of one thing and one thing alone.
Well, you guys
And that
all know the famous Hadley video or whatever, Hadley,
Mhm.
Justin.
Yeah.
He got a line on. He's applying to Amazon as a commercial drone pilot with them.
Yeah, because
Okay.
they're going to be hiring. If you got
Yep.
a 107 license and
Yep.
there's an Amazon factory near you, you
Yep.
might want to check out and see if they're offering jobs for drone pilots. Because
Yep.
if they're not going to be delivering to people in certain areas, I can guarantee you they're going to be delivering from warehouse to warehouse.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. Well, see,
We have an Amazon office in Manhattan, and they have a major Amazon office somewhere in Jersey. So I could see them working, asking for pilots. If you're a 107 pilot, I would highly suggest you start looking and filling out a resume and get together a portfolio.
what makes that so funny is that the fact that you're going to hire is a whole bunch of see, this is the thing. This is where 107 and 135 meet, because it's a drone and you need a 107 pilot to fly a drone. But the drone is not operating under 107, it's operating under 135.
Yes.
And it's operating under Part 135 for one reason only, because it has to be able to fly out of the line of sight.
Right.
You forgot to send Elliot a link, man. He's sitting back watching. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up. He's sitting back watching Wednesday nights with those guys. We need to do this sort of like Pusa Studios,
Uh-huh.
and have them hit us up and post a picture and we can put them on. I don't know if you can see it, but
That Elliot got his feet up there or what?
Hey,
I
Big
don't know
John,
if those are his feet or those are they
Or
look
does
like thick feet to me. It might
Yeah, I was
be.
gonna say it looks almost
Listen.
looks like a garden gnome on his patio.
Listen,
Hey,
listen, let me
we got
send
Big
him.
John in the house here.
Yes, yes. John is a pilot here in New York. They call him Big John. We call him Loco Wing, Crazy Wing. He gets a lot of flying in, and he gets a lot of nice, great shots and stuff like that. So everyone add each other, and please make sure you hit his channel up as well.
Yes, please make sure you guys check each other out. Check out this guy, John. Hit him up. Support each other.
Hold on, Elliot. I'm sending you the link right now, bro, so you can come on in. But we do have I have drone news tonight that I can guarantee you, Paul, nobody else has anywhere else. I mean, they may have seen a touch of it, but this company did so
All right.
well with hiding this news and this launch of this drone that you're going to be surprised who the drone company is, and you're going to be like, how come no one else talk about this?
How much they want for one of those?
Even
Yeah,
though we're small right now, one day someone's going to look in the archives and
Mhm.
say these guys had something that nobody else spoke about before. But I'm real proud of it. I got
Yeah.
video footage to show you. Also, all I can say is it's a company that you least expect. They launched a drone, Paul, that's so badass. I'm breaking out in the sweat, man. I have to go get a paper towel. I'm getting really excited about this. So we're just trying to get a few more people in here, but I
Well,
can guarantee you,
what I was
you
trying
may
to
have heard of it, but
Amazon,
not even realize you heard of it because the company kept it on a hush hush. Oh, John, you cannot use that word in here, sir. Only because YouTube has this crap going on. You can't use that word with the S that ends with the D. Um, you can't use the word yeah, basically anything that why I don't know. Don't ask me.
oh,
You
can't use that word.
So what I have to do here is um hold on. How do you do that? You
What?
can remove the comment, right? Okay. Comment
Yeah.
deleted. No, don't worry about it. You don't know. But when you start doing live streams and stuff, you can't. I guess I can say it because I'm telling people not to do it. Would that be
Right.
okay, Paul?
Yeah. What you can do is you can go on his channel, leave him a message.
Right.
You understand?
We
Or
support
even in the
each other.
chat, leave a message. I stopped by I stopped by and checked out your channel. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
Right. I supported you. I supported your channel. I gotcha. When someone says hi or I gotcha, that means they did that. Hey, what's up, Jerry Freeman? But please add Big John. He like I said, he's a drone flyer here in New York. Herman,
yes.
let me go get a paper towel because when I start talking about this drone, I start dribbling, man.
Get her all.
You're not.
Get her
Just
all.
give me a second. I'll be right back.
What you gotta get is the towel. Get the towel.
I need a damn towel.
Get a towel or a whole roll of
Get the
paper
towel.
towels.
You can
You know
take
what?
it on the NBA bench.
Hey, Paul, you remember Paul when I had to dance? You guys saw me sweating and stuff.
Yeah.
That was out of nervousness. This is about excitement because no one knew that this. Hey, what's up, Genoa County? No one knew that this drone company. They actually did a video on it, slipped the video out there, and did no advertising for it.
Lawrence, what I was trying to say to you is about what you mentioned before you started going into this drone on Amazon. And I said to you about UPS and Wing Aviation, why they're operating, why they fit. Listen to what the symposium was saying about guys like these companies that want to do this. Why they're fitting in under 35 and not as 107 is because they need to fly out of the line of sight.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? And 107 does not
allow you to fly out of the line of sight. Correct.
Exactly.
As of right now, there's discussions that they're going to change that in July.
Right. And there's a reason for that because everything with them, and this goes back to what I was saying before about detect and avoid. You know, but as far as them now saying that they want to they're operating under 130 part 135
Yeah,
because they want to fly out of line of sight.
That plus also, Herman, they want to have a license in every pilot's pocket. Where if they
Right.
just
That's why you need a 107 pilot.
yeah, and if you just fly under 137, the pilots don't have to have a 107 license.
135.
They have to be
135. Paul.
135. Yeah.
But they'll have to be pilots.
Yep. Exactly.
Juneau County, you cannot use that word that begins with an S and ends with a B. I have to remove that. I got you. Hi, I supported you. And
Yeah.
it's only because for monetization reasons, they say if you use that word, they have a spider attached to that
We
word.
cannot run a sub for sub channel here.
Yes, you can't run a sub for sub channel. I can say that.
Now,
Okay.
if you guys want to check out each other's channel,
Yeah.
and support each other, that's what I permit. I don't care. That's the thing. Do that. That's what we're here for.
What's up, Rick Halber? No,
Support
but
each other.
Juneau County didn't know, like John, but you have to pass this on to other YouTubers, and you have to share this knowledge. Rick Halber, I'm
Rick
glad
Halber,
you're
how's it
here
going, bro?
because I wanted you to see this video thing coming up that I have.
See, now,
Stand
Herb,
by.
we got 16 people watching. Why don't we just get it the hell out the way?
because you ain't gonna let nothing else go if you don't get it off.
Your
Look,
towel yet.
look. This is like
Paul,
This
let him
is-
get his glory. Let him bask.
He didn't get his towel yet.
right here, bro. Right here.
Oh, okay.
Right here. When I found this out, there's only one other site out there that I know of, or one other source out there that has this information I'm about to show you guys. Okay, so I need to switch to my screen. I want you to see the web page, and then I'm going to talk a little, and I'm going to show the actual video. But
Okay.
there's a company that came out here that literally came out with a drone. It's a well-known company, and they came out with a drone right under all of our noses.
Okay.
Okay, this drone can travel 50 miles per hour and carry a 40-pound payload. Now, you cannot buy this drone, and you want to know why you can't buy this drone? It's because, hold on, I have to go to Hangouts and switch to screen share. You can't buy this drone because you can only buy the use of this drone. There is no price for it. The company that I'm talking about, what's up, Matt? The company that I'm talking about is
Hey,
DJI.
man, good.
DJI went and pulled. Can you guys see the screen?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys can see the screen right here. Where is it?
Well, if you
They
click
pulled the
yourself,
the
it'll
wool
hold
right
your
over your
screen.
guy's head. This right here, this page is from a site called The Verge. The only other guy I know that has it is Drone DJ. DJI's most advanced drone comes with its own van and crew, which means you cannot buy this in any store. You can't go to DJI. If you want to use this drone, you have to hire the drone crew, the drone van. The drone comes inside a damn van.
Yeah.
That's
You're
That's what I'm trying to say.
going to hire it.
If you look at this here, this is their footage and their crew. If you want a job, it's called DJI Studio, and the drone is called the Storm. It's an 8-motor drone. It can carry a Ronin, a camera up to 40 pounds, and there's an entire crew inside a truck flying this damn thing. Now, talking about the future, I don't know. Hold on, I had the sound. I don't know if you can hear this. Can you guys hear this?
Vaguely.
Professional heavy lifter aerial platform is crafted by DJI Studio.
What about now?
There you go.
And the versatile Ronin 2. The setup is compatible with popular cinema cameras and lenses. With its outstanding payload capacity,
This is
Storm
DJI.
offers greater freedom when choosing your equipment.
8 engines, 8 props rather. Now, this drone was just released, keep in mind. It just came out with it. Now, how could the #1 drone company in the world release a drone and nobody know about it?
Propulsion system and advanced flight
Well, it's
control.
DJI.
Exactly my point. Max speed is 50 miles per hour. So you can do a car chase with it or a car scene. and it works in all elements.
Storm can perform reliably over a wide operating temperature
Look at the
range.
size of that monster.
It empowers
Yes.
cinematography with more
But
possibilities.
hold on, that's the crew that you hire. You
Yeah.
cannot, they will not let you fly this thing, brother.
Master wheel.
Well, probably
Look at that.
Oh,
probably it's so technical that you couldn't do it.
But you see, they're actually using dolly wheels that you can control a drone with on the ground.
DJI
I think you can fly it,
offers
boy.
fully customizable aerial cinematography service with a professional crew to bring you efficient collaboration.
They're not letting you fly their shit. Plain and simple.
Well,
You hire the crew.
we get a job with one of them.
Custom aerial cinematography service.
Well, you never say never. Right now, it's never. But if you
Right.
walk in there with $10 million, say, I want one. Oh, okay, we make you one.
Well, you know what, Paul? I think they
Hold
got
on, I gotta
jealous of
stop
the
it.
drone in the box.
Yeah.
I had to go drone in a van.
Yeah.
All right. Now,
This is something like that.
to make the point that I was getting at, not only, hey, Val, what's up? How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Did you guys get to see a new drone that DJI came out with? But because it's the
Hey.
#1 drone company in the world, how did they keep that under wraps?
Smoke,
Okay,
smoke and
and-
mirrors with
and-
everybody.
Now,
Smoke
now
and
the
mirrors with
only way,
everybody talking about the Spark and everything else.
exactly. They did like this. They said squirrel, and while you were
Yep.
looking at the squirrel,
Yep.
they swooped in, and this drone is called a DJI Storm. And why I'm in such an uproar about it is because DJI launched a new part of their company called DJI Studio.
Yep.
Now, if you have a recording company,
Now
and
they have been talking about it for a minute now.
yes. Well, DJI Studio is active, and if you want to fly the Storm, or at least stand next to it and take a picture, you got to hire the drone, because they say you pay for the drone. The drone comes with a van and a crew.
Yep.
Now, I had another video somewhere. I'll put the link and you guys can check it out at another time. But it shows these guys coming up in this crew with Chinese letters on the side, DJI, and they're filming themselves. They're driving with this drone. So it's a pretty good advertisement.
Well, they've learned from the best magicians in the world. They get you to focus over here on this hand, while the other hand is doing something else, and you're just focused on that.
Get
And
your
then
hand
boom.
out of my pocket.
This is exactly what I'm talking. Wait a minute. I forgot about Justin. I'll
Mhm.
send him a link.
Yeah, you're doing real good there.
Hey.
No, but yeah, Paul. With that though, I had heard about this with DJI for a minute now, but I never saw anything from them.
Well, it's
The talk,
true.
but now I guess it's here.
Yes,
Well, there was
it's
a
here,
few-
and it's here and it's active. They're actually
Yeah.
using it in
Yeah.
China already. They're getting ready to set up a company in Australia. So that I guess they're going to have these mobile companies with this drone. I remember on Sunday we were talking about drones in a box.
Yep.
Well, you don't have to put this drone in your backyard and do whatever you want, just send it out and do security patrol. You could hire these guys if you got the money.
Jeez.
There's been Herman, just to speak to that, there's been a few news releases where they kind of intimated, and I think that's what you're talking about, intimated how they want to get more involved in the film industry.
Yeah.
Hey, Geeks Vana, you missed it. I'm going to send you the link personally in your email, but I had showed the DJI Storm and how DJI started a whole new branch of their drone company called DJI Studio and things like that. I will send you the link anyway, so you could put it on your live stream. Those of you who don't know, Geeks Vana does a 2-minute drone review.
Yep.
I think he does it once a week or something or twice a week, but it's a good channel. Hit them up. Everybody hit each other
How
up.
you doing, Sean?
Genesis, I'm so sorry I missed you, but I'm glad you're here. Rotor Deal, what's up? How are you? And welcome to Wednesday
Hey.
Night with Those Guys.
What's up, man? How's it
Hey,
going?
Rotor Deal.
What's up, Big Matt? Herman, go on with whatever you wanted to talk about, and I'm going to send this information
Well,
to Geek.
basically, what I was discussing was based on the article that you had there when you were talking about the fact that the FAA said they weren't going to be doing this remote ID anymore. But the problem I had, like I said, with that was that listening to them at the event this week, I can't pronounce that word no more. I don't know what it is.
Symposium?
Yeah, that one. It's just like, that little thing that the doctor uses to listen to your heartbeat. I can't pronounce that either.
Stethoscope.
Yeah, that's
Stethoscope. Okay.
no, but the avoid and detection.
Hey, how are you, pal?
How's it going?
Good.
And detect and avoid has a lot to do with those.
Hey, click that like button.
And everybody being able, because like I said, under 135, they had to have transponders.
Yeah.
It's necessary to meet the requirement. So with that being the case, even we know that planes have these transponders too. And that receiver that Lawrence had mentioned last week that they were going to put into the DJI claim they were going to put into their drones, we're going to be able to, starting in the new year, they were going to be able to receive the information, the signals on those transponders to know in real time where these planes were located in their airspace and how far away they were from you. And when I was listening to them talking about, testing these things in detect and avoid, they were using this system where basically they were actually flying the same way a lot of the hobbyists fly, where they were pushing these drones out and they would watch the drone, and when it's out of the line of sight, now you're dealing with watching the airspace around the drone.
Yep.
To make sure that it's in that area, so you'll watch the space around the drone to make sure this is it. But they also were saying that how the human being is very how could I put it? The human being is really attached to the human factor, and they found that these cameras and stuff that they want to improve even further with technology to put on these drones and the detection, that they're actually better than the human. And I think that that's crazy because now you're pushing to fly out of the line of sight. Now, the good thing about that is one thing and one thing only. Like I remember here in New York, we had areas where a few people, small businesses had restaurants and stuff like that. And they were looking to put tables out on the sidewalk and they were always denied the ability to do so. Then when the gentrification started and some of the big boys started coming in and they started putting in restaurants and stuff like that, they started to apply for the same thing. And then the city came up with this standard that you had to meet to be able to do it. So now if you're going to let him do it, let everybody do it.
Yep.
And that's where this comes in. And with the FAA just allowing companies to, even like DJI, to come up with new technology that's going to take this system further and take these things further into the future, I'm waiting to buy a drone in the next 10 years. That's I'm just looking at it because they're going to allow these companies to dictate the technology, and we're going to see how you fit into whatever category we already have.
Well, Herman, you're spot on. In I know you've been talking about it for several months about how we as pilots are the guinea pigs. We're the testers. We test out the products. Well, I know for my Enterprise already has that system in there. When I take off, it comes up and it tells me there's a plane, there's so many miles here, it's going at this direction, at this speed, at this altitude, and it I know where it's at in my area instantaneously.
Well, see, that was one of the things the guy mentioned in the symposium. He was saying that how we're going to use the human that's already been using these products as part of the test to see where we can go with this. So there's a lot. This is still a lot. This is a long way from being settled. a long, long way from being settled. But Lawrence, what was that other thing you had?
He's so excited about the first story, he forgot about the others.
I'll sit. No, I'm actually trying to sit here and
Oh.
keep the chat room going.
The
future is Rhoda Deal says the future is around the corner. It's not around the corner. It's here.
yeah, it's
All right?
here
It's already here.
because it's evolving. As
I think we're still in the VHS and Betamax stage of what's going to be. I mean,
And
we
you're
still
right, Elliot.
didn't. I'm sorry?
you're right, because that's what they're saying.
I still believe that there's going to be, it's going to go full autonomous and it's going to become robotic and it's just going to be, we haven't seen anything yet. And I think in the next 5 years or so, it's going to really be, you know, something just crazy.
Yep. And that's what they're saying. They said we're still crawling.
Yeah, it's you can't believe, because I mean, right now we're on our 1 2/3 inch sensor cameras, or even a 1 inch sensor, which everyone's going ape shit over and say, "Ooh, you know, it's 1 inch sensor." No, what about a full frame? Full frame, they're still saying is $40,000.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, you know, I really think. And that there is prosumers out there that want that type of technology, but they don't have 40 grand to pay.
Well,
So that's, I see it that it's going to happen. It's going to come down where it'll be.
you gotta stick to the selfie stick.
Val, what's up? You're sitting there real quiet.
Oh, I'm just looking at stuff. You guys talk about stuff, then I look it up.
Oh, well.
That's it. It's called Pornhub, Val.
I
Go ahead,
put
say
that
it.
Right. For anyone who wanted to see
Let's
that
not get
video,
started on that again.
that link on the DJI Storm. Okay.
On the
Just to
DJI
let you
Storm.
know that DJI and other drone companies only let you see what they want you to see. It's very simple. It's very simple. They dangle a carrot over here, and while you're looking this way, they're launching something over there. You know, it's very simple.
Right in the belly.
What's up?
They punch you right in the belly.
Right. They say look up and give you one right in the gut while you look up.
You're up there buying that product, and as soon as you look up and buy that product, boom, here comes the other one. Damn, I should have bought that.
Well, Matt in the chat room says, we as consumers crave technology so much that we've been guinea pigs for large companies. And Herman said that before. DJI used all of us.
Not just
All of us. And
Of
you
course.
can't say, you can't be mad about it, because when you sign that agreement, the terms of service to fly their equipment, you're agreeing to it.
Well, how about this?
Mhm.
Uh-oh, they found me.
Get under the bed.
Hi.
Get away from the window.
Damn.
Get away from the window, because if you
Uh-oh.
could type, that would get me 1 million hits. I mean,
All right, I'll go change the description.
No, but if you look, even in camera days, Nikon D750, which came out about 3 years ago, almost brought Nikon down because they just kept on testing focusing systems and different sensors and everything on that camera. And it was, in the beginning, it was a complete flop.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden, like, they finally got their you-know-what together, and they said, okay, well, we better get this done right, you know, and they finally did it. But now, actually, they're doing it again with their digital stuff.
well, see, I
One in the chat.
really like to see where this all would be in about 10, 15 years.
Mm-hmm. So would I.
Provided we don't destroy ourselves in the next 10, 15 years, or drown due to glaciers melting, et cetera, et cetera. But
Lawrence is bringing it political.
we won't. No, we won't. Oh, here's something I wanted to give out, and Geeks Vana had this on his channel already. Okay.
Wanted to give it out.
Like I said, check out Geeks Vana, but a lot of you don't know this. IBM is giving away 1,500 DJI Tello drones. Okay, and why they're doing it is because they are giving it to developers to learn how to code. And the problem is, the reason we're behind in technology in the world is because our people here in the United States aren't learning how to program computers. They're buying them, they're learning how to fix them, but they're not learning how to code. And
Well, that-
coding-
No, I
Well-
disagree with you on that. That's being taught in grade school.
yes,
exactly. They have kids in these charter schools that are learning coding now, but it's a big push to
My
teach
niece is
our
starting to learn that.
people, our kids, how to code. So I
Come on, Lawrence. You and I, we go back to the Commodore 64 days. That's as far as that we go with coding.
Yeah. Do you know my first, hold on, Elliot, my first computer class, and this was high tech back then in the high school that I went to, my first computer class, we had a stack. I'm looking for something, maybe a stack this thick of cards that you had to punch. And if you made in those 1,000 cards, if you made one mistake, the whole program was ruined. And
Yep.
now look where they're at. But getting back to what we're talking about, I'm actually going to put the link in the room. So if you know people who are into coding or that know how to write programs, coding
What grade was that in, Lawrence?
coding's very simple. You put something on a screen, a box, and you make the box move from here to there. That's coding.
What grade was that in, Lawrence?
Oh, they programmed in Fortran. Dude, I used to program in DB4. I learned it in Database 3, and we set up a school and programmed totally Glenesis in Database 4.
When was this, Lawrence?
When was what?
When was this that you did this?
I was in
Kidding me? Lawrence is so old, his social security number is 1.
About the same time he was
because-
carrying cardboard around for
Because
his
I was just
dancing.
gonna ask him, being as that, you went to, what's that school, fashion and design, that you had to
Ray
do
never went to no damn
dancing.
fashion and design. Cut it out before you get muted.
that.
You're gonna
Ellie,
get muted.
remember
on your own.
Leroy from
Cut it out.
Leroy from Fame? That's the real Leroy right there.
Oh, I didn't
People listen
realize
to this
that.
He
People,
was on the breakdance team.
that link right there is for, anyway, getting back to what I was talking about. IBM is giving away 1,500 drones. If you're a developer and you're into software, or you know someone or a kid,
Hmm.
they can get a free Tello. They're giving out 1,500 of them up till July. They just started this maybe about a week ago. They may have given them all out. They may decide to give out more. I don't know what the hell's going on, but the link is right here. Pass it on to someone. We have a guy in one of our drone groups called Tony Frankie Reed, I think his name is. And
Make up your
all he
mind.
does is travel from school to school, showing kids how to code and how to take a DJI Tello and make it take off and turn around, move forward, move back, and land.
Well,
And all of these kids are so interested in drones now. So he's doing it all over New York. He's getting large enough to the point now where they're even having racing drone tournaments now. But he stresses coding wherever he goes. Him and his drone company.
well, that's in the curriculum they had at
Pascal.
my niece's school, because we went over there when we had to meet with the principal of the school. That was one of the things that he had mentioned, that they had these different things for them to learn as part of the curriculum. And when he mentioned that, I was like, that's what she's going to be doing.
Anyway, anything you're going to talk
It's
about?
very important, because even like I said in the symposium, they were talking about what you just said about the fact that we don't have many people right now who can take this industry to the next level. They want kids now to start going to school and learning this here in America so that this can take off.
Yeah. Well, I'm listening. I'm just typing some stuff in the room, responding to Glenesis.
Well, we were waiting for you to on that other thing you were talking about.
What other thing, man?
You said you had another thing you wanted to talk about.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I can always find something.
Because like I said, this was
No, I
the
can.
only thing I had to discuss with was the symposium, and the fact that your buddy there with this hang glider. And
He doesn't remember what he said 2 seconds ago, but he'll remember something 50 years ago.
ran into the
That's how it goes. That's how it goes. The first becomes the short-term memory.
and ran into the guy that ran into the people's house there.
Oh yeah.
Go into their
I
roof.
don't know if you heard about it, Paul, but a guy with a hang glider in Connecticut, hang glider now, crashed into someone's house. Now, my issue with that is a hang glider weighs a hell of a lot more than a drone. And this thing has no motor, and the only metal in it are the actual cables to pull the ailerons and control it,
Yeah.
other than a stick, etc.
No, isn't it the frame also?
No, the frame
The frame is all fiberglass now.
is fiberglass. There's no
Or
metal
carbon
in it at
fiber.
all.
Total frame. So the only metal parts are maybe the actual bolts that move on the wings and stuff like that. But the point that I was going to bring up is, how do they get on us about flying drones over people when they're flying these freaking gliders, helicopters, jets, rockets?
Well,
Need I keep going?
the one thing that bothers me the most about those gliders, the fact that you can operate
What's up, Night Train?
and control airspace with this thing without a radio, without any way of communicating with anybody in the ground, without anybody knowing you're there. How are they allowed to do that?
I don't think so. I think you have to be.
They don't have to have a radio.
Nope.
Nope.
The glider goes up. You do have a radio. You do have a two-way radio, and that's to communicate with the pilot to let him know that you're releasing the cable. That's the only time you need a radio in a glider. So
What about like those paragliders, the ones that have the big fan in the back, the one
you
engine?
don't need a radio for
Like an
that.
ultralight.
Radio either.
Right.
No,
You-
no
so then-
license, no radios, no.
No license, no radio.
Exactly. And yet here in New York, we try to instill drone pilots flying with radios, because I've gone to meetups and literally left a meetup and I woke up the next day with a sore throat because I'm yelling 50 feet away. What altitude are you?
Are you flying with Elliot?
Leave him alone.
Oh.
He doesn't fly. Elliot doesn't fly drones anymore, so we got to leave him alone.
No, Herman's upset about the hand gliders is because he can't get on one.
Ooh.
Ooh.
See, now, when we time you out and we mute you and stuff like that and dismiss you from the program, then everybody gets upset because it's all fun and games until somebody gets hurt, right?
What hurt? No, nobody's hurting.
And did you see Elliot last night? Did you see him when he went live? What's up, Justin?
Hey, Justin.
Elliot went live last night, right? He was in Bayonne where we were at the Teardrop Memorial.
No, actually, I was not at Teardrop. I was in the next.
Okay.
The next area there over, it was like deserted. All I saw was feral cats and possums. That was
Okay.
it.
Well, where
It was-
he was pitch black, and he's like, "Well,
Who are you
if
doing?
anything happens to me, if anything happens to me, you hear about a body being found in Bayonne, it's probably mine."
Who you at, in the container yard?
Yeah, I was in the container yard across from Teardrop.
And then he goes, "Uh-oh, a car!" And you see the headlights scroll across his face like a deer in the night.
The customs agents want to know what the hell you were doing in the container yard.
No, believe it or not, they saw I was white, so they left me alone.
See, Elliot.
See, there he goes.
Here we go.
Elliot, just behave, Elliot.
I'm kidding. But I did get the shot, though.
Well, listen. All I know is you did invite me, but I couldn't do it. See, my problem, guys, with flying with the rest of these guys out here is I live out in a town called Far Rockaway.
Uh-oh.
Now, Far Rockaway,
Look
New
out.
York, if you Google it, go ahead. If you Google that,
Murder capital.
you'll see that it's the furthest peninsula on south of Long Island, and it's about 3 miles past JFK International Airport. But just
In
to
the
get
war zone.
where these guys are, I have to travel on a train for a half hour to 40 minutes if the trains are running.
Out of
And
the
some-
war zone.
Sometimes if the trains aren't running and they're doing repairs, that little half hour to 40-minute trip can turn into literally an hour just to get
Yeah,
to
but you know something? Come summertime, that's like God's country out there where you are. It is beautiful, that beach.
That's
The
true.
other side of the McDonald's.
Nice, Robert.
Not the McDonald's. Not the
That's
McDonald's.
true.
Don't talk about that.
That's true. Hey, Paul,
Yes.
they say if you come out here by car or train, they usually ask, where do you go? To the right of the McDonald's or the left of the McDonald's? Well, I live to the
Always.
left of the McDonald's, so if you have a gun license, you might want to bring something with you. You know what I'm saying? But it's a
Don't
great
go left.
neighborhood.
Don't go left.
It's a great neighborhood when it's raining and snowing out because no one's out.
Paul, you know what's so funny about it? People say, yo, I'm in Far Rockaway. Okay. When I come across the bridge, are you to the right of the McDonald's or to the left of the McDonald's? And if they say to the left, everybody goes, okay.
Don't go to the left. Don't.
Always stay to the right, huh?
Okay.
Yeah. At least if you want to go back home, I mean, it's bad out here, but it's not as bad as some parts of New York.
You know what, Paul? You remember how they made the shoes, the inner sole of the shoe can come out?
Yep.
That was so the kids in Far Rockaway could put their money in there and then put the inner sole back in. Put the shoe on and make it to
So they're all standing at the counter at McDonald's taking their shoes off to pay for dinner.
and they put their watch around their ankle. So
Yeah.
they can be home.
It's not that bad anymore. It used
All
to be
right,
really
all right.
bad. It
Felt
used to
far
be
off.
really bad. But
It was bad back in the day.
back in the day, it was really
It
bad.
was.
Right now,
It
it's not.
was. It was. Justin even knows. Justin used to have some people out here, so Justin told me some stories. I'm like, damn, is Rockaway was really like that? But I mean, come on, give us a break, man.
So I gotta go, guys. I'm heading off to work.
All right,
Wow.
day at work.
Have a great time. Thanks
I
for
know.
popping in and hanging with us.
Okay, love you
Take care,
guys.
Val. Be
You
well,
wanna
honey.
plug your
Nice
show,
seeing you.
Val,
Thank
before you
you,
go?
Elliot. Huh?
You
Thank
want to
you.
plug your show before you go?
Oh yeah, Sunday. I am having Jake Sloan on my channel. I think it's Jake Sloan. Anyway, he's a really great drone flyer out of Alaska. Does some beautiful things. He's taken his drones and captured pictures of whales. He's just, been up in the glaciers. He's a little bit of a daredevil. Anyway, I didn't tell anyone until I came on this show today that he is going to be on my channel Sunday night at 7 o'clock.
We won't tell anyone either. Don't worry.
Okay.
I know, just keep it quiet.
Some of these videos, you guys got to check it out. Seriously,
Yeah.
All
Love you
right.
guys.
this guy things.
Yeah.
Lawrence, you got to see some of this guy's stuff, man.
Yeah.
He is
He
beyond.
takes some risks to go fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he goes out to the middle of nowhere, and like he had this one video. You see the drone. It's like it looks like it's in a cave.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Out, and it reveals where he is, and he's inside there underneath the ice, and the drone just flies out from.
Oh,
Right out.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, he is so cool. So cool. But
Sounds
anyway,
interesting.
I'll
Wow.
see you guys. Hopefully, I'll see you on Sunday night at 7 Eastern. It's going to be a good show. Okay. Bye, guys.
All right.
Take care.
You're
Good
pulling
night.
you're pulling an all-nighter, right?
Okay. Now
Val?
that Val's gone, we can pull the booze out and talk real stuff.
Woo!
No, I'm
I'll
just
buy the first
playing.
round of
We
drinks.
love Val. Everybody loves Val.
Where the strip is at.
All right. Calm down, Elliot. We're not going that far.
Woo!
This is a family show here.
Yeah. Herman didn't switch it to 18 plus yet.
You could throw
Well,
out one.
it's like a Jersey bar, okay? They dance around in the bathing suits and the thongs, okay? That's
Okay. All right. So
Not me.
But
the only other.
well, it is Herman's show, so get the donation, get the whatever going.
hey,
Justin,
Justin,
where
you
are
home
you driving from, Justin?
From picking up my daughter from school.
Oh, you're picking her up from school. Okay.
Yeah, she's in the car already.
I
That's
see
in
her.
the back, isn't it? Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
That's funny. I didn't hear an Amber Alert go out yet.
Amber Alert.
Oh, in Florida, they got silver alerts when someone with Alzheimer's gets lost. I'm like,
Yeah. Silver Alert.
I'm like,
Well, they got silver alert.
Yeah,
silver,
for the seniors.
yeah, for
Yeah.
silvers for the seniors, and they have orange alert, which is for someone that's, I think, underage that's stole a car or something like that. It's crazy. I'm like, what the hell?
So they
Well,
got all these different colors down there.
Yeah, I don't know why.
it's
You
funny
get-
because actually tonight the Empire State Building is going to be lit orange for gun violence awareness.
For tonight.
Yeah.
Nice.
For gun violence awareness.
Yep, that's
But yeah,
Orange
tonight.
for gun violence awareness. Okay.
They're aware of it. Yeah,
You know what's funny?
aware of
The
it.
Empire State Building, they have so many colors. Since they turned the lights, they switched the lights and put LEDs, first of all.
Yeah, they changed it all to
These light
LEDs.
shows that go to music and stuff like that.
It goes also on the top of the hour. It does switch over to white.
Right.
So but it flashes in some sort of music.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I was pointing out. Usually when it's flashing really quick, somebody somewhere in the world is listening to music while watching the Empire State Building light show. And what you know about it is,
You know,
there will one day come a time where we can fly legally in Manhattan.
yes, there will.
Won't be alive to
Whoops.
do it.
What the-
No, you can now as 107, but there will come a time where everyone will be doing it.
You think? Wait. I thought north of 34th Street and south of 79th. You can't.
With a waiver as a
You
107
can as
pilot?
107
Yes, you
pilot.
can. How do you think?
Yeah, you just gotta
how do
get a
you think
waiver.
those
You can pretty much do
Channel
whatever you
7
want.
Channel 4 are getting those
All
drones.
of these news companies are doing it.
Yeah.
Right. In fact, if you're a 107 licensed pilot, you have a better chance of getting a job at one of these local New York City drone stations. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, the drone pilot for Channel 2 News sucks. And I'm saying with capital letters. He couldn't.
Don't talk about Anthony Charles like that. No, I'm kidding.
He could not. Listen to me. This
I'm
dude,
kidding, Anthony. I'm kidding. I'm fucking joking.
I was trying to ignore your statement,
I
Elliot,
told you he has stock in Ralph Lauren. That's all I know.
because
But yeah, Larry, that's another thing they mentioned in the symposium too about flying in these densely populated areas. You may not be able to do it now, but eventually you will. Because honestly, downtown Manhattan is still not in the no-fly zone.
It's not.
No, it's not. It's not.
True.
It doesn't have a. It does have that barrier. The last time I saw across Lower Manhattan, when
It's probably gonna be considered Class B airspace.
yeah, it's Class B airspace.
Right, but from
authorization.
from the
But if you get a waiver,
in the area
but if you get a waiver, then
into Jersey City,
they
open.
probably have a temporary.
Yeah, Jersey City's wide open. It's the Wild West over there.
It's open from Jersey City across to the Freedom Towers. Open.
Paul, we got to get you over here, Paul. We got to get you out here one day. Once you fly urban, you won't want to fly nothing else.
I don't
I can almost promise that.
I don't know. You guys might scare the hell out of me.
What happened?
I said, you guys might scare the hell out of me.
How?
No,
Like, go! Come on, fly under that bridge. It's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
well, the boat got under there. You got to be able to get under there.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Exactly. And you saw that plane that flew over at 32,000 feet?
Yeah.
I'm quite sure you could get to the other side faster than he can.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be hard. It wouldn't be hard. Seriously.
That big old
Fly
ship
urban.
under the
We'd
boat.
start you out in the local park like Prospect Park.
Okay.
Hey,
Hey, that's where I
crashed. Circles
That's
around
why,
the lab.
that's why I
That's
said
where Elliot crashed, he says.
that's why I said we'll start him out there.
I told you the story when I first started flying. The first day I started up my drone with that kid in the park. I got a drone too. By the time I got that thing off the ground, he was crying.
Oh,
Right into the tree.
Oh,
You had to see him and his mother trying to shake this big tree trunk like this. I'm like, that tree doesn't even know you're there.
You know what it was? They tried to wait for Herman to set up his drone, and Herman was going through the pre-flight check and doing what you're supposed to before you take off with a drone. So he's taking too long, and they went over and they flew their joint. And when Herman turned around, Herman was in the air, and they were crying, looking at the tree.
Yeah, I'm sitting there. I'm saying, slide this to start. Okay.
Hey, Elliot,
Yes.
how come you keep looking out the window like you're being hunted?
No, I'm looking at the monitor. I have the.
Every time you look to the side,
Looking out the window too, like
No, I have.
being hunted.
No, I have
maybe-
two
I thought
monitors here.
I thought
I'm
maybe
watching.
Elliot, I thought you were contemplating jumping or something. I didn't.
that's what it looks like.
No, that's over there.
Looks like he's looking out the window.
No, I got two
Don't
TV.
worry,
I got
don't
two
watch it.
monitors here with the.
Know what you do, Elliot?
What?
Go get your Mac 10 and do it, and then we can reenact that.
Yeah.
As you look out the window.
Get your Mac 10 and step out there on the ledge and wave at everybody.
Now we know my guns are all in New Jersey.
In his neighborhood, he wouldn't get in trouble anyway.
Well, you know what?
Well, technically in my neighborhood too, I could have a shotgun in the.
That's true.
Yeah, that's
Justin
something else.
lives in Long Island. In Long Island, as a homeowner, you are allowed to have a shotgun.
Yes.
Wow.
But the only problem with that is it only
That was
applies.
actually a New York rule at one point, and then they stopped it here in the city.
Yeah, because you could go to like Kmart and pick up rifles and ammo.
Well, that's what you. When I was a kid, about 40 years ago, what we used to do, we used to pick up black powder guns in New York, and then we used to go buy the black powder and the ammo in New Jersey, and we go to Nassau County Pistol Range over there and go shooting 50 caliber black powder revolvers. Oh, did I say we were 17 years old also at the time?
How did we go from drones to guns?
Herman was saying I'm going outside with a Mac 10. I'm gonna go shoot up the neighborhood.
I told him to go to the window and peek out like he's been doing with his Mac 10.
Oh,
No, you know what? All I see the lady across the way stick her head out all the time to smoke.
Oh. Oh. Your window's to the front?
No, it's faces in a courtyard.
Oh, okay.
My bedroom window faces out towards Ocean Parkway.
I was gonna say you can see far. See that lady smoking across the way.
No, when she does, I'm gonna stick out the camera, and you guys can see her smoking out there.
No, I'm good.
No, you'll see her. Just she sticks her head out and she sits there and smokes.
Mr. Crowley says he prefers a Desert Eagle.
Yes, I agree with that. Desert Eagle is with a.
You know, I think you're only going to get one shot with that because the recoil on that. By the time you bring that down to take that second shot,
but it's so pretty.
It's beautiful.
He said they're gonna get scared anyway. When you pull it out.
When they see it, they're gonna get scared.
Actually, the funny thing is, I did shoot one. I also shot a what do they call it? What was it? A 50 cal Smith & Wesson. That was just crazy.
Matt said, did anyone see a new Mavic Pro for $6,000? Either that or he's trying to change the subject.
What is Jose selling his still?
For 6,000?
The new Mavic Pro for $6,000.
It can inspire too.
Rumors that one will be out early next year. I don't know if they might sell it for 6,000, but they were talking in the roughly around the same price range as the last one, but maybe a couple of dollars more. With DJI, everything is $200 to $400 difference.
It's gonna be a Mavic 2 Pro XXX with a X5 camera hanging off the front.
And it's gonna fly like this.
Yeah.
Hey Paul, when you
angle degree of pitch.
What's that?
When are you gonna start your live stream?
No, I'm comfortable just being the special guest.
Yeah, but I see you more on than I see Roger, and Roger be on.
Right, that Roger, he is an online animal.
He was on at 3 this
trooper.
morning.
He's like on in the morning.
He was on at 2 o'clock this morning.
Paul, check it out. I was here editing, right, and I was getting tired, and I found myself I had to render something in the software, and I leaned back and I was like knocked out. So I got up. I said, "No, this is it. I'm going to bed." And just as I was ready to turn off the computer, I see an alert: Canadian Drone Hub live. Live now? That's got to be wrong. I clicked on, and there was Roger.
Yep.
And you can
Paul
hear
be
Roger
working
under the table.
Night Train says Paul will be working in circles.
And the thing of it is, Herman, he has almost a full house going at 2:00 in the morning because you got Australia, you got Europe, you got Asia, you got everybody out there talking to him.
And
Oh,
Roxy
that's smart. He said he wanted different.
cut through the rug, straight through the floor, just sawing all the wood.
Yep. Yeah, Roxy.
He was out.
Well, see, that's good. He said he wanted different demographics, and believe it or not, that's how you get different demographics.
Yep.
You have to do your show during different times.
So here's what you do: you go live Sunday night. We can do that like 2
When I
o'clock.
used to do my internet radio shows, I used to have a show from 9 to 11. And what happens is when you're ready to end at 11, everyone in California is just starting to come on, from California to Hawaii and then into Asia.
Yeah.
And then
But that's when The Price is Right starts. So that's why all the old ladies will go into that.
The Price is Right.
Elliot,
The Price is Right.
Elliot has his way, doesn't he?
Elliot.
Yeah, Elliot. What you have to realize, Paul, Elliot is special.
Yeah.
You know, this may sound good. I don't know where I'm going with this. And I hope Herman's show doesn't get shut down for this.
Strap in.
You know how? Yeah, you know how in certain groups you would have a token black. Well, Elliot's our token white guy.
No, I'm the token Jew. Just call it like you said.
So I'm trying not to go there, Herm. I'm trying not to go there, Elliot.
You know what's funny when you mention The Price is Right? My grandmother and my mother has been going on that show since I was about that tall.
I'll be right back.
Every time you see the show on, I'm going to go on this show one day. I'm going to win everything. I'm going to go on there one day. I'm going to win everything. You've never applied to get on the show. When are you going to win everything? You sit here and play the game and talk about how dumb these people are.
Sounds like the Ralph Cramden. Remember Ralph Cramden? He won on the $64,000 music.
Yeah.
And the dun 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 dun. Who's saying Ed Norton?
Who wrote Swanee River?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So what do you guys, by the way, switching the subject, I guess, what do you guys think of the new Mac computer coming out? Well, we don't know anything. No, just its specs are just like insane. I think it's 18 cores or 2 terabytes, just something like really crazy.
There you go.
Like $2 million.
I think it starts at $5,000 or $6,000.
Okay.
What, the new Apple computer?
Yeah.
So what do I think of that, Elliot?
Yeah, well, you know, plus the design of it looks like a cheese grater.
Yeah, they're playing to a crowd way above me, you know.
Well, I think it is geared towards professionals.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's still using the Xeon processor, which they always use. But they're
geared more towards that high-end computer geek.
Yep.
That wants to be fancy and show off in front of everybody. Then I got the new Mac.
Yeah.
They're claiming that new GPU is the most powerful GPU ever, and I'm like, that's not true.
It's not.
Well,
because you got the NVIDIA 2080 Ti, which is basically you could run a whole freaking TV station off of that GPU.
Right. Well, they're saying also the video cards. I think they said it could do 8 4K streams simultaneously.
Yeah, but if you think about it, if you really know computers, the GPU is not used that much when it comes to like editing and stuff like that. It's mostly processing power. It probably uses like a quarter of the power from a GPU.
Well, that's why they were saying 4 processors or 6.
Well, no, it's 8. What, the GPU?
No. How many processors? They're gonna have separate processors.
Well, the GPU is two GPUs in one, so it's basically 2 graphics.
It is going to be 2.
Yeah,
It's only two. Okay.
the process is a Xenon, so it's probably like an 8-core or 16-core. It's gonna do.
Well, at least they
it's
got
gonna do
away
its
from the
thing.
garbage can look.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I gotta
The
hit you
garbage
back.
can
I'm
failed
doing a live
because
stream.
I think the garbage can was overheating a lot.
All right,
It was
later.
throttling up.
Night Train, that's the same thing with the televisions. Everything is above and beyond what you need right at the moment.
But then
Well,
again,
they're
you gotta
probably
think about it.
thinking future.
But
Yeah, but then when the future comes, they have something else.
no, but
Well,
you
what
think
was
about
it?
The last Mac they had with the 5K screen, if it broke, you basically were out of computer because they didn't have any parts to fix it. And if you could find someone that could work on them, Apple wouldn't sell the parts to anyone. Or if it was a technician that was doing side work, if they put the parts in the computer, they would get fired from Apple. So I'm wondering, like, is this going to be a machine that they're going to have parts if it fails, especially with that 6K monitor?
But the thing is, Apple doesn't manufacture their own parts, so they're buying them from somewhere.
Right.
Hence, with all these Hackintoshes out there, because they're just going out there to the vendors and they're buying stuff
you're
that's
absolutely right.
compatible.
You're right.
Yeah, so
They do buy everything to put these things together, but
yeah, they do.
like what Night Train was saying, that's a lot for a Mac. But you know, everything is above and beyond what you need at the time. And then when that time comes for that stuff to be useful, they came out with something else.
Yeah.
If you sit back and just relax, probably what you already have is already good for what you need.
How many guys could you think of right now that went out and bought Phantom drones, Phantom 4 Pros or Mavic 2 Pros, to go shoot 4K? Then they took that chip out of their drone to go edit it in their computers, and they saw they can't do anything with it.
Right.
You want to know what?
Yeah.
You want to know what? Speaking about that, Elliot, there's something that DJI does that I do not like, and that is when you're shooting at 30 frames per second, when you get it home and you put it in your computer, it's not 30 frames per second. It's
29.97.
Exactly. When you're shooting in 60K, it's not in 60 frames per second.
It's like 59.99.
Exactly. And which means it automatically drops it to the next lower frame rate. That's not even true 30 frames per second. That 3% does make that difference, because YouTube and other social services, social media networks, social services won't recognize it as 30 frames per second, even though you think you're shooting at 30.
Well,
so what about if you go at 24 frames per second?
Just push it in the program. It'll work.
Now, see, that's the only thing. That's the only thing that is true to form. The 24 frames per second is 24 frames per second. But
right, but it's cinema.
Cinema setting, yes.
Yes, in cinema setting, correct.
I'm saying to you, if you have that 59 point whatever the hell, just push it. It'll take it.
Yeah, but if you put 59.97 on YouTube will naturally bump it down to 30 frames per second.
When you go and you render your software, when you're doing your
I do it. Yeah, that's what I do.
You could force the settings in Adobe,
right?
But I don't know how other programs, but you could force it to. It even has a preset for YouTube 4K at 60. So you could kind of force it to stay at that, but.
Did you notice that, Paul, when you do your videos?
Yeah. Yep.
What do you do? Right. It's H.264 or H.265, and most DJI drones are using H.265. Now, what I do like about that, and I'm just learning how to use Adobe Premiere, which is I can take something that's at 60 frames and drop it down to what they call red camera mode, and it'll go straight to 30 frames. Anything that I put in will automatically save in 30 frames per second. So that helps.
Facebook is even worse, Night Train. You know, it's even worse. Instagram. Instagram just.
Instagram was bad.
Spit it out.
Yeah, they really destroy it.
Well, think about it. All of these social platforms weren't really out there to show, other than YouTube and VMO, they're really not out there to show any video. And I don't know if
Yeah.
you tried to download a video from
Oh
YouTube.
my
If you
goodness.
do, it's like downloading something in 720.
Well, you know what happened? I told you when I did that little short I wanted to put on Facebook. I told you how long it originally took to upload it to
Facebook, because their servers suck.
from the 4K. And
Is it raining in Brooklyn right now? Because I'm looking at the sky and it's getting gray now.
No.
It rained for a second in Long Island.
It's not
Okay.
raining out here.
Well, the sky is getting gray out here in Rockaway.
Look
And
out.
I'm talking about storms tonight into tomorrow morning.
Maybe out there we're gonna have pure sunshine out here in Brooklyn.
Yeah, right.
Tomorrow.
It's always sunny in
True
Brooklyn,
tomorrow.
isn't it?
Yeah, always sunshine in Brooklyn, even when it's raining.
You know why they need sunshine in Brooklyn? Because there's a lot of really ugly people in Brooklyn. So they need that sun to make you squint your eyes so you don't see it.
Here we go. This is coming from the guy that hangs out on the corner when I'm waiting for me to come and meet him. And when I get there, he tells me about all of the things going on in this neighborhood.
You know what?
All right?
I wait for Herman when I get off the train. I wait for Herman at the bus stop, at a bus stop. And I can tell who's slinging drugs over there. This guy's bumming change every morning. He stands in front of a pizza shop and asks for 50 cents for a slice of pizza. So the train station is right there. So when people walk by and they say, oh, he wants, slice of pizza, they give him the 50 cents. And I stand there and this guy makes like $10, $15. Just 50 cents, gets $1, whatever he gets. And then when I go down into the subway, he's like, yo, can I get 50 cents for pizza? And I'm like, yo, dude, you just made $20 today.
Now let me ask you this: this is in the morning, like 9 o'clock, when you're waiting for
Yeah,
me?
they open up that.
By the
pizza
way,
shop
if you
early in the
notice the weather out there, the rain clouds
It's
are
headed
all
towards
over Rockaway.
It's headed towards Rockaway. None of you
It's all Rockaway. It's not even over Brooklyn. Brooklyn's clear. Rockaway, it's always in
look at that patch.
It's all raining in your area. See,
You
I
see
told
that patch in the middle? That patch
See,
right
that's Brooklyn. Beautiful Brooklyn. Over here, there it is. Right there by you.
Yeah,
you.
well,
Oh,
it always rains out here. It's always cloudy out here. It will not rain any other time. Paul, no lie. Herman has seen this. He's experienced. I'll be talking to Herman for hours on the phone about things, right? And then I'll say I'm going to the store. And as soon as I go outside, it'll start raining. I could sit here the whole time and the sun will be out, but as soon as I go out the door, it'll start raining and drizzling.
Oh, they all carry rocks. That's why.
That's what it is.
Yeah, they carry rocks. That's why.
It's raining on Lawrence's parade.
It's always raining on Lawrence's parade.
Where are EBR is in the Netherlands. That's right. I was about to say we're supposed to have thunderstorms here tonight in New York.
Well, Rockaway.
By the way, I've been told that always when I'm online here, I'm always drinking a beer. So Blue Moon, or I think it's owned by Coors, you could send your promotional considerations to me, Elliot Franco, Brooklyn. Thank you.
See,
Sorry, just wanted to get that out there.
See, now he's gonna have to change the rating to commercial broadcast or some
Oh
stupid.
no, I'm not sponsored by them.
That's true.
No, you're not. I'm like the sponsor. Did you ever see like those boxers that they have the tattoos or whatever they have on the back of their?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's me.
The robe, eat at Joe's and stuff like that.
There you go. Or Chico's bail bonds.
Yeah.
All you Bad News Bears fans.
Yeah.
Listen, Geeks Vana, thanks for hanging out, bro.
But yeah, Lawrence, that's pretty much going on.
Hey, Geeks Vana.
I got for news, but if anybody has a chance to, if on YouTube, you can sit down and go through all of the seminars that they have at that symposium this week. It started Monday.
Did you watch it? Did you watch it, Paul?
No, I didn't.
And listen to the member.
I suggest if you do, and I'm gonna be honest, I
Pack a
suggest
lunch.
that you do drink some Red Bull or something, because like the first 10 or 15 minutes, they talk about literally nothing.
Well,
Yeah, I've
A lot of
listened to
them-
a couple of their
Good night,
symposiums.
Mr. Crowley. Later, dude.
I found a lot
Yeah,
of it.
I've listened to a couple of their symposiums.
But after a while, it just
Like-
started. Wah, wah,
Yeah, it
wah, wah.
starts. Yep, exactly. Exactly.
But if we don't listen to this stuff, who's gonna know?
Right. You're gonna wait for somebody to come out to fly with you and be like, "Yo, you know you can fly into the UN now." No, you can't.
Right, right.
No, you can't. Where'd you hear that? Oh, they let you do it
Later,
because
Mr. Crowley.
Lance said it was okay.
You
Who's
know what?
Lance? Your friend?
I hit somebody with that. They responded, they commented on the video, and he's like, "You're ruining it for everybody in New York." I said, "Well, first of all, I can tell you're not in New York, because if you were, you wouldn't have said something like that." And he goes, "Well, how can you tell I'm not in New York? You're ruining it for all drone pilots." I said, "Well, if you had known anything about flying in New York," he says, "You didn't contact the airports. You're flying next to LaGuardia. You're doing this." I said, "Well, first of all, if you lived in New York, you would know that we don't call the airport anymore. Okay. Second of all, if Lance gave me authorization to fly, it was okay to fly." And then he left me alone. And that's going to be
that was like these guys when I was flying by the Statue of Liberty, away from it at the time, and everybody's like, "You can't be flying out there. How could you be flying out?" No, I had line of sight, and look it up. All of a sudden, people are pulling it up on the FAA maps, and they're like, "Son of a bitch, the guy's right. You can't fly over there legally."
Yes, you can, as long as you stay outside the white markers.
Right, you stay outside those buoys, and you launch from New Jersey, which
Yeah.
that was legal.
Truth be told, you could fly up and down that damn Hudson River.
There is, yeah, actually you can. You can. Just be careful of the bridge.
Yeah, well, when you get down by the bridge is where you're not supposed to be. But
Right, because you have Fort Wadsworth on one side, and then you have Fort Hamilton on the other.
Right, right. And then the George Washington Bridge is a no-fly zone.
That's
They
the
made
bridge I thought he was
Tappan Zee-
talking about.
They made the Tappan Zee Bridge a no-fly zone, because I was with Herman when I had my Phantom 4 Standard, and I'm like, I'll get a nice shot flying sideways across the bridge, and you'll have it going like that in the scene, and I'm going sideways, 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 stop. I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't tell my drone to stop, but it stopped. I'm pressed. I didn't go anywhere. I'm like, okay, wait a minute, what's up? So I turn, and I'm like, there's nothing there. So I back up. I said, wait a minute. I know this isn't a no-fly zone. I back up pretty good, and I get up good speed. I'm like 18 miles an hour, 19, stop. No-fly zone. So what do? You learn to fly somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, that's when they put that first perimeter around Manhattan. I tried doing this. This was years ago, by the way. Statute of limitation is already passed.
Thank you for quoting that.
No, and I kept on trying to go into Manhattan, and like you're saying, so I would try going up higher, go lower, go around, and yeah, it was just like an invisible brick wall that you just could not get into.
Can I ask where you were? Where were you going into Manhattan?
About 76th Street.
East or west?
East.
You couldn't get in?
No.
That's strange.
You could get in up about 79th, you could get in. But 76th, 74th, 70th, 42nd, 45th, 50th, yeah, you couldn't get in.
What's funny about
I knew a guy that flew right over Gracie Mansion and everything, straight down.
Yeah.
Street.
When we were
Well, Gracie Mansion's 86.
No, but I'm saying from when we were
Randall's Island. We were on Randall's Island.
Lighthouse Park.
Lighthouse Park on Roosevelt Island is equivalent. Lighthouse Park is equivalent to 86th Street.
And guys flew up from Lighthouse Park.
Those guys flew. Yeah, they flew with no problem.
And
I know from 86th Street, yes. I'm saying from lower than 79th, you can't.
They had a problem.
Okay. Well, you know what, Lawrence, when those guys are flying from Randall's Island down to the bridge, you know, those guys, you can't compare then to now. You never know what could happen now.
That's true. That's true because you know where the tip of Randall's Island is, facing Roosevelt Island, right, Elliot?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there were some guys, or those guys, that flew from Randall's Island all the way down to the 59th Street Bridge with no problem along the East River.
Right,
Out
but as soon as you cross the FDR Drive
Yeah,
into Manhattan, there's that invisible barrier wall, like something out of Star
You know what?
Trek. You just,
Elliot could be right because I remember when you were
I
supposed
could be right. I am right.
No. I'm gonna tell you why I say that. Because that time when you couldn't make it over to what was that over there? Queensbridge. Lawrence, when you couldn't make it to that meetup at Queensbridge,
yeah.
I was spotting, and two of them guys.
Okay.
Those other guys.
Them guys.
I asked those guys, like, well, I wouldn't say those guys, but them guys.
Okay.
Where were they are and what their altitude was, and I got a response from one guy. I'm 700 feet over the FDR.
Wow. Wow.
And I'm like, okay, you know you're not supposed to be up that high. And where'd Elliot go?
Oh, I got kicked out? No.
I didn't see. All I could see is your picture. But anyway, the other guy said, oh, I'm about 600 feet over the FDR. Oh, I lost signal. I'm like, you lost signal at 600 feet? Oh, my God.
Yeah, because depending on what day it is, Paul, that corridor is filled with helicopters and seaplanes,
And
depending
it was in the evening.
on that side of Manhattan.
It was in the evening.
Oh, it was in the evening, but you
And they took off from Queensbridge over the island and into Manhattan.
Oh, wow. Hey, Caesar's droning time. Welcome here for the first time to Wednesday nights with those guys. Well, we have about 28 minutes left to the live stream.
You know what we never got?
We never got to drop.
Yeah, from our sponsor.
Well, that's Paul slacking. He's sitting there sleeping, man.
Yeah, he's supposed to remind us.
Hey, you know what you guys forgot?
What?
You haven't done the station break.
That's what we're talking about.
You guys hear me?
That's how I know you're sleeping, Paul. He just said that.
Elliot, we can hear you. We just can't see you.
Right. We see a picture of you. We see your Facebook picture that you put up when you're trying to get chicks.
You're not hanging out the window, are you, Elliot?
Oh, is he there?
He's still there. He's still there. Hey, Dunley, what's up, dude? And welcome to.
No. What happened? I got a phone call. As this thing now, it's like locked in that I can hear you guys.
Into the camera.
So I got to restart.
Okay. Well, come on. Let's do that drop real quick, Herman.
Okay. Well, as you know, Wednesday night with those guys are sponsored by
those guys. There we go. We got it in. That's good enough. I did all my drone news except for one piece of news that pretty much is going to show you need to start watching these corporate leaders, these guys that are CEOs and COOs and all that out of companies, because they're all starting to get interested in the drone community. And what I mean by that is the former FCC chair, Tom Wheeler, he was recently employed with the FCC, and he decided to leave that job and join AirMap. Now, a lot of you guys know that AirMap is an app out there that shows you when and where you can't fly and stuff like that. And he's quoted as saying, I'm reading it from the site here. I'll put the link to the site also. I am honored to join the AirMap team, Wheeler said. The opening of the low altitude airspace to high scale flight operations, and I stress high scale industrial, offers so many new opportunities for both citizens and companies. citizens, the people who are paying for this, and the companies. How governments integrate these new aerospace entrants with their public interests. Responsibility with an important new chapter in a relationship between innovative technology and public policy. In other words, I'm putting all my money in this drone company. I'm about to get paid.
Well, I understand that, but what I'm curious to know is like, what's their real stake in this? Because and Paul can contest to this, as a 107 pilot, the only thing that you and the government will allow you to go by is your sectional maps.
Sectional maps and charts.
Those third-party apps like Air Maps and Before You Fly and UAV Forecast, you better not tell them that that's your point of reference.
Yeah, they're gonna laugh at you.
If anything ever happens, you better not use that as your point of reference.
Yeah, except Herman, now that Lawrence has told us that the former head of the FAA is now gone to Air Maps.
The FCC.
FCC. I thought you said the FAA.
No, it's fun. But the point I'm making is he's taking an entire career change to leave a company that he's the chair of. The FCC, whatever's being broadcast over radio, microphone, they cover that, just like the FAA covers everything related to the air. Okay. Now to leave that industry and come to a drone company, a drone app company, AirMap.
I can understand that.
They're hiring a swamp creature.
I'm gonna tell you why I understand. Based on what Elliot just said, but also radio is an old man right now.
Yep.
Drone.
It is very true.
Infant.
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Drones are an infant right now.
Well, and you know what? This might be a two-step dance too for Air Maps. They may be trying to recruit the head of the FAA to come. Hey, come join the FCC guy over here, because this is where it's going to happen, and we'll make you rich.
Or how about this? Wait a second. How about that they're going to try to get bandwidth from in the spectrum to use for drone communications?
Yes,
that's a possibility.
That's where what you call it was going when they were talking about taking over Before You Fly and creating their own airspace. What was that? Kitty Hawk?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, they were trying to create, but not trying. They are creating their own airspace for people to fly in when you fly through Kitty Hawk.
Yep.
Right.
Wow. So in other words, like 5-point-something gigahertz, whatever, like the spectrum that they're going to use is going to be drone-to-drone communications or air-to-drone communications of some sort. And standardize it, maybe to standardize it where all drones are in the same frequency.
Well, think about this. You got the head of the FCC who knows everything that there possibly could be about airwaves and radio waves. Now, when you use these drones, you are broadcasting at a frequency, 5.8 gigahertz, 2.4 gigahertz. Right. Okay, now that goes into the FCC's field of expertise. So
exactly.
Better person to have on your team than someone that was in charge of all of that.
But that's
take AM radio. Like nobody listens to AM radio anymore, and just put that for the drones.
hey.
You could, but as soon as you get off the ground, you're gonna smack into a car.
Yeah.
10. Need your 10-10 wins news.
Anyway, the thing that I put is the air map. It shows the former FCC chairperson, and you can go into detail. I'm not going to read it, but just to let you know, when someone makes a career change, that's because someone whispered in their ear, yo, you better get in the ship while it sails before it sails.
Yep.
And if you notice, just pay attention to a lot of these big companies out there. Their chair people are switching over to drone companies. A lot of people are switching jobs. And it's happening right before our eyes. It's here. Amazon, Herman sent me the information. I mentioned this earlier. Amazon got permission to fly.
Google does also. Google has it first.
A week or so, they got permission to fly. But they also put out a statement saying we're going to be flying in months.
Yep.
Yeah, well.
You see, but one thing with Google, I think Google's going to be using it to track everybody, to track where your movement is going.
But that's what they're doing now. That's what they're
No,
doing.
but that's with their drones because they got those drones that fixed wing. So they could stay up there for hours and hours, maybe even days. And they could just sit there and track everybody
here's a
from
little-
up there.
You want to know what? I see that highly possible, and here's a little bit of knowledge. You're familiar with the Tomahawk missile, right?
Yes.
Okay, you're familiar with that? Well, the Tomahawk missile locks in on radio frequencies. I did not notice until like many years ago when after it came out, but you can launch a Tomahawk missile from a ship, and that thing will stay in the air 2 to 3 days. And as soon as you key up your microphone, it's going to lock in and come in and kill and destroy. So if you can get a piece of metal to stay in the air for a few days, you damn sure can get a drone to stay in the air for 8 to 10 hours, 12-hour shift.
I don't think it could stay up there for days.
Look,
Well, right now there are drones that can stay up there for about 9 hours, 6 to 9 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Military drones. Yes.
No, one of these drones in a box we were talking about.
yes, it has.
The Parrot Disco.
No, it's a hybrid. It's a hybrid drone. It's a hybrid drone, battery and hydrogen fuel.
Parrot Disco. I'm gonna go get one now. I'll be right back.
Their stock just went up.
Parrot Disco, definitely with that 4G LTE hack that they have on it. I'm all in on that one.
You heard it first. Hear from Elliot that the Parrot Disco can stay in the air 6 hours.
That's the insider tip for the day.
Provided it catches a heavy wind and it keeps floating.
Correction. I have to correct the Tomahawk missile thing. I somehow heard a few days. It's actually half a day, 12 hours it can fly.
That's long.
The
A
Tomahawk.
missile by itself or on a Predator drone?
What?
Because Tomahawks are launched from sea.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are sea, right? So they could stay up there for how many hours?
12 hours, 12-hour flight time.
Wow.
Okay,
So
so
what happens if they nobody queues up that mic within 12 hours?
nobody queues up the mic. It finds someplace to ditch.
Okay.
They find somewhere to ditch in the water and they recover it.
I would hate
Good
to
point.
blow up in the water. You be out there fishing.
Some kid on a beach someplace says, "Daddy, look what I found."
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, right.
Help me get it out of the water. Like the time when we were out flying, Lawrence, and your Solo went down over there in Coney Island Park.
Oh yeah,
The guy pulled it out the water.
yeah. No,
GPS.
you saw
Hey,
this.
look what I found.
No, this is funny, right? Because the guy at 3DR tried to tell me that I did not see 2 puffs of smoke come from my drone and watch it drop from the sky. And what happened, we were at a meetup and we were flying over the water. Maybe I don't know what the distance. What would you say the distance was from Calvert Park to that beach?
The back of Calvert Vox to Coney Island Park, Elliot.
Yeah.
Quarter
What would
mile.
you say the distance is, Elliot? Across the
From-
water to the beach.
Oh, it's like 100 yards.
Is
Okay,
it?
well,
Oh, it's
basically,
longer than that.
well, I had line of sight of my drone. Someone had offered me something to drink. It was hot. So I put down my controller and I'm standing there drinking my drink and I hit return home. So she goes up and then I see her start coming back and I look down and say, okay, the numbers are getting lower. She's not heading away from me. Okay, everything's fine. So I'm watching and then I can see 2 little poof, poof, little clouds. The thing turns upside down and falls. Now, where the drone fell was I was over land and it was just starting to come over water where people were swimming. So this guy was in the water. It went down. You saw the splash and everything. So it was within line of sight. And you see the guy grab it and take it out of the water like this and walk over to the beach with it. So I had given it up for this drone to be lost. I was like, you know what? To hell with it. I'm not going after it. And everyone was like, yo, go get your drone. Maybe you got the footage on the SD card.
Right.
So Herman drove me over there. And now keep in mind to go this 100 yards, we had to go maybe 2 miles out of the way around a peninsula just to get there.
Uh-huh.
But we're walking along the beach and we're asking a guy, and yo, did you see a drone? And people are like, yeah, we saw drones go this way, we saw drones go that way. I said, did you see one fall in the water? The guy's, oh yeah, yeah, further down that way, that guy over there by that chair. So we're walking down the beach, and I asked these two little kids, hey, did you see a drone fall? They're like, no, we didn't see nothing. So the guy goes, no, the guy in the water. He pulled it out. So I yelled, yo, did you see a drone? Now, right where the kids were playing, the guy goes, yeah, over there, under chair. And one of the kids, they looked at each other like, damn, he told where it was.
You ratted us out.
Right. And the kid lifted up the blanket.
And it was on fire.
The drone was sitting there smoldering. Because the battery was arcing, so it was slowly shorting out everything. So I pulled the camera off to see if I can get the SD card, but everything was wet. But the point you're trying to make is when it fell out of the sky, I was hurt, but then I was willing to say, it's a loss.
It is what it is. Yep.
It's right. It is what it is. But people will keep your shit. Now, had you kept it under that towel, I'm sure the towel would have caught fire.
Yeah, eventually, because the battery was still on. It was darkened, and the towel was smoking, Paul.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
By the way, I just looked up on the on Google Maps. It's 560 feet.
Okay. Now, the guy at 3DR Solo tried to tell me, because you have to file a complaint. Because they replace your drone. As long as you prove you brought one, they replace your drone at least once. So I sent him the flight
data
record and everything. And he tries to tell me that in the report, you have to say what happened. And I said, well, it was on its way returning home from maybe what I thought was maybe about 600 feet, but Elliot says it was 500. And I saw 2 puffs of smoke come from it, and it flipped upside down and crashed in the water. And I went and recovered it. He's like, there's no way you could see a drone 600 feet away.
No way your drone flew 600 feet?
Right. He's telling me there's no way that you could have saw that drone, 2 puffs of smoke come from the drone, and watch it fall and watch it hit the water.
Why not? We all saw it.
Right. So, but they looked at the flight records and they saw that 2 motors burnt out. The front right motor and the rear left motor. So
the funny part about that is that Ben was actually hovering right above us where we found the drone.
Yeah, one of the guys, they saw us walking along the beach from where the park where we were, and they had sent a drone over to record and watch everything that was going on. We're looking up. This guy's looking down at us, watching everything that we're doing. That was kind of funny, though. It's 6:47, man. What do you want to do?
Well, we're still here talking, but we got to carry this till about 7 and cut it off.
Paul,
Anything?
You're not flying? You're not flying this evening?
Nah, the weather today has been real spotty. We just had a storm go through, and now it's really clouded up again, and it gets sunny, then it gets really dark, cloudy, then sunny, then rain comes through, then it gets sunny, then rain comes through.
Okay, Elliot, hold on a second.
It's cloudy out here too, but it's not bad.
Elliot just sent me a picture, and where the big patch of green land is where we were flying from. And that's where the beach is. And the guy's trying to tell me I could not see that far. Well, there's one thing you can come to find out, and you've known this, Paul. People who fly drones can see a drone in the air before they see a bird.
Yep. And when you're down there flying, other people say, well, where is it? Well, it's right there. Where?
Right.
I don't know. It's right there.
Exactly. They're busy going, where?
Yeah.
But also little kids can see drones.
Yeah, I was going to tell you that because I had the nieces and nephews and kids out there. We went camping, and I had the drone, and they were like, "No, go out over the water." So I pushed it out over the lake, and I'm like, "Shit, I can't even see it anymore." And they were like, "It's right there. It's right there." Like, right where? It's right there. You don't see it? I'm like, "No." I know where it is, but it's there.
Right,
Not-
but they can see and hear it better than we can. They can hear that high pitch whine
Now,
because
do you guys fly with strobes on there at all, like the
at
firehouse?
night
strobe?
you have to. Well, you're supposed to. We do because I like to see where my bird is at all times.
I have strobes on both of my copters, but
But you don't use them during the day, do you?
I have used them, especially the one on the back of the copter, because just for orientation purposes sometimes. But
Okay.
Okay.
That's usually best bet. Like if I'm flying to a point at night, it's best to have it on the rear so you can see. Because after a while, those green lights disappear.
yep,
You know, the front and the angle that they're on.
You
Yeah.
know, it's funny. I have a habit of putting the drone up when I'm not really trying to shoot something specific, and I'll just turn the camera on and let it capture whatever it captures. And that light goes out automatically in the front.
I have that set too on my
So
drone.
I don't know.
Once you start recording,
I can't see in
orientation.
the
Yeah,
camera. I don't really know where it is sometimes. So that's why that's a good thing.
yeah,
I've
yeah.
heard the bird after hitting RTH, after losing sight of it because I blinked wrong. By the time I saw it, it was over me coming down. I had no FPV. You had hit a bird? Oh, after hitting, return to home.
It hit a bird.
You heard the drone after hitting,
Oh.
return to home. Well, depending on what drone it is, and I'm going to tell you, 3DR Solo, even though it's a Wi-Fi bird, Paul, that sucker could handle the wind better than any DJI drone I've seen before. The problem is it's Wi-Fi. I've had that 3DR Solo in 25 to 27 mile per hour winds, and it was hovering like someone had it on a stick. And I've seen a DJI Mavic at the point of almost flipping over
But
in
Paul,
the same wind.
the problem with it is that you could take it on a half mile, quarter mile race, and the DJI, once it breaks, you'll just pass it and just come back.
That's true. Because I don't know if you noticed, Paul, but the flight time of the 3DR Solos is only 15 minutes. Now, real world is 13 minutes, and depending on conditions, 10 to 11 minutes.
So that's like a spark.
Yeah, pretty much. Except it's the shape of a brick.
But you
Yeah.
know,
You look at the tool case that I have, and it's basically a flying brick.
Yeah.
The Solo. It looks like a square brick like this, of course, but it's basically a
With
freaking
legs on
flying
it.
brick. I used to call it the brick. 27 miles per hour.
But I know guys that love it.
In fact, when Herman came into the group, he thought our group, NYC5 Bro, was just a group full of 3DR Solos. Because there's so many people were flying them.
Now we got Elliot here. Elliot was the guy who put me on the 5 boroughs. He said, when you go down to the meetup, they got this guy, Lawrence, who runs the whole thing.
Now what's messed up, Paul, is I didn't run it, but I had a lot to do with planning group meetups and stuff like that. And whenever we had a meetup, I had teacher syndrome kicked in. I'm like,
And it was always on a Sunday. You would never have a meetup on a Saturday.
because I work Saturdays, dude. I only work 1 or 2 days.
And I was working on Sundays, so that's why I was like, God
Yeah,
damn it.
Elliot used to get so pissed. He's like, "What's the matter, man? You only have a meetups on Sunday." I'm like, "Dude, Sunday's the only day I have free. You know, to fly on the
No,
weekend."
and I used to say out to you, well, throw it out there. Have something on Saturday. And sure enough, you did Saturdays, and it was packed.
But what was meant, but now when I'm talking about a meetup, Paul, we would have 20-something people there.
Wow.
And everybody raring to fly.
Which park was it that we were? Where were we flying in the Bronx? I think it was where everybody was out there. I think we lost 2 Phantoms that day.
Yeah, it's crazy.
In the
We
Bronx?
do have. Oh,
I think, or the Whitestone.
Right, Whitestone.
Right, Whitestone Bridge.
By the Whitestone.
Check this out, Paul. This guy, at every one of our meetups, we make it a prerequisite to ask you, what is your experience? Are you a beginner or an advanced flyer? If you're a beginner flyer, I used to take all the beginners with me and kind of corral them over, and the advanced flyers would go do their own thing.
Yeah.
And this one
It's like
guy,
a little kid playing in the playpen. Okay, come on,
Right.
you come in the playpen over here.
right, this guy, he said, yeah, I know how to fly. I've been flying for a long time. He had a Phantom 4 professional, it was?
No, I think it was a standard.
Oh, it was a standard. Okay, but it was a Phantom. And it was up to me to spot him because something happened. I was done spotting people and he wanted to fly. So I said, okay, go up. Now his lights went up. And I have never seen this in my entire history. I've never seen it again on any other Phantom. But as he was going up, he lost control and the lights turned blue and then all the lights went off. So immediately I said, the first thing I said was, come down and land, reset. You know, maybe there's something wrong. Recalibrate, do whatever you got to do, but restart your drone. And as he started coming down lower, everything, the lights in front went red, the ones in green. He said, look, it's fixed. I said, bring it down anyway. He said, okay, I will. His girl comes over to take pictures of him, you know, show him with the drone like this. And somehow, because we got drones coming in, we had like flight control, serious drones were landing, drones were taking off. It looked like an aircraft carrier. So somehow he pushed his drone out over the water and somebody was coming in. And when he looked to take a picture with his girl, instead of looking at the drone, which was his out over the water, he's looking at the one over his head. And he starts pulling down. So he's looking and he's wondering why the drone isn't coming down. But his drone is out over the water. So we had drew a crowd of maybe about 20, 30 people watching us because we had that many drones out there. And it's nighttime, it's turning dark, and you see all the drone lights, people coming in, like I said, people are coming in, people are taking off, going out, and somebody yells, oh my God, whose drone's going in the water? And we look.
Guys in the drone in the water, Paul.
Now,
off the top of the water.
Now, it did its job. It was light enough that the sensors did work. Now, what happened, I never saw this before. The drone went down, and it just before it was touched the water, it would hit full throttle because
Eddie, what's up?
would kick in and it would want to take off, right?
Yeah.
Now, because he was pulling down, they were fighting each other. And at one time, the drone actually went halfway down below the water line, but because the props were so strong, it was blowing a round bubble of air under. So you see the drone going like this under the water line like that. Then all of a sudden, immediately the first thing we yell,
Hey, Eddie.
freeze.
Paul,
All the administrators and moderators there who are spotting, everybody freeze. Everyone take your hand off the controls. He's still going down like this. We're yelling, whose drone is it? Nobody's flying. Everybody's hovering. Everyone's, wondering. Now you have the entire park looking at this drone, and he's still going like this because he hands off the control. And he thinks, well, why isn't my drone going down? But after about 5 minutes of this, the drone went like this, went down, and
it landed.
Disappeared, and then it just toppled over and went bloop, bloop, bloop. Then
like Terminator going into the molten lava, the molten metal at the end.
His screen went black, and he goes, man, I have no picture. And we go, whose drone just went in the water? He realized that it was his drone. Because now the drone that was hovering over him, everyone's going to land because they're scared now. He realized that the drone up above him, but this is what you get for saying you know how to fly when you didn't know what the hell you were doing.
Let me tell
Now,
you.
keep in mind, Paul, you know as well as we do, the controller has feedback.
Yeah.
So anytime you do something, the controller vibrates.
Yeah.
So to go show how inexperienced he was, he never realized that his hand was like, the drone was like,
hey, Eddie.
stay out of the water, and the alarm was going off in his hand, but he would not pay attention.
And he couldn't see either because he couldn't see it going in the water. He couldn't see it above his head neither because either way, he wasn't seeing anything.
Right.
So crazy, Paul. You remember when you said that when you bought the Enterprise, it came with the hard case and all the setup and everything?
Yeah.
When I bought my P4 Pro, I got it 2 days before that meet. I bought it with
What's good, Eddie?
batteries, filters,
Uh-huh.
shade, high-powered charger. It came with all kind of knickknacks, and I spent a good penny for this.
Uh-huh.
2 pennies.
I had mine all over the water too, and I was like, you know what? My night's over.
Yeah, because after he went into the water, everybody went home
That was it.
because
You see, Paul, it was just bobbing in the water like a tea bag. You dunking your tea bag.
right. And what was funny,
Well, I was thinking something else, but okay.
it was actually like an illusion, Paul, because if you know, the props create a bubble
Yeah.
of air. So when it went down halfway from different angles, it looked like it was in the water already, but it was bobbling. It was going to full throttle, and at one time it gave one last try, and it went as high as it could, and then he brought it back down, and it just died out and flipped in. And all we could ask him was,
Proof.
all we could ask him was, did you have insurance? No. Did you just buy the drone?
Yeah.
Then he admits that he just brought the drone after he lost it.
And you saw him walking away like he was doing the walk of shame back up to his car.
He came with his girl and family. And he was a new member to our group.
Wow.
Never saw him again.
Never saw him again.
This was about 2 years ago, guys. Almost
3, maybe.
Yeah, about 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, 2016, maybe.
At Francis Lewis Park out in Whitestone.
Well, if you ever run
I won't never forget this guy's walk when he was walking back up to the car with his girlfriend, and his head was just like, his shoulders were like slouched, his head was like that, and it was just like the walk of shame back away.
I'll bet if any of you recognize him on the street, you said, "Yeah, I remember you flying drone." Nope, not me.
That's somebody else.
Somebody else.
And
You
it
know
was
what that
funny
is? That
because
reminds
when he
me of-
came, he was taking pictures with his family. The drone was here. He was posing, and that's usually how you can tell a beginner.
Yeah.
Drone
No,
pilot.
it reminds me of when I went to a motorcycle class, and they go around the class and they're always asking, "What are you going to buy? What kind of drone?" So this one kid said, "I'm going to buy a Hayabusa," and we're like, "Okay, yeah, you know, that's what I'm going to get." First, so the second day, they take us out and they take us on these little 125 motorcycles, little small, and we're
Right.
going around the course. This kid gunned it and he hit the front brake. He toppled over. He never came back to the class after that. He couldn't handle a 125 anymore.
That's pretty much how it was. But like you said, Elliot, he did the walk of shame that day.
Yeah, I remember like
His family and him, the kids had their head down. It was like everybody was walking up to be murdered.
You know what, Paul? You know what's the worst part about something like that?
What's that?
Only your woman would say to you, "I told you not to buy that thing."
She said that?
I don't know.
But
I don't know.
I can imagine.
you can imagine when he got home, because now, being that he was new, we always, in our group, we always paid attention to new members. Okay, we always paid attention. Even if you were a new member, you came over here and you waited. And was messed up. It was him, his girl, family, and he brought 2 or 3 of his friends who had Sparks, and he was the big man because they all had Sparks, and he had the Phantom. So they were like, ooh, flying over him, and everyone was taking pictures with the Spark, and he's like, laughing at him, and him, his friend, his family, everybody left the park like this.
Oh, that was the day I met Fallon.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the day you met Fallon. But anyway, it's 7:04, guys. What are you guys doing?
About to.
It's that time.
So I'd like to thank all you guys in the chat for coming in and hanging out with us, hanging out with those guys on a Wednesday night. And we're gonna see.
One thing, I'd like to interrupt you just 1 second, just because I like to. Yeah.
because
But
it's special.
I would like to get one day if we could get Eddie out there on. I mean, I've been talking to Eddie lately this week, and he is really taking photography to the next level
Mhm.
as far as doing weddings and all these special events and all these kinds of things. I mean, I would really be nice to hear and talk to him about how he's doing and what exactly is he doing to get his name out there and get himself up to that next level. I know it's not drone, but photography and stuff like that.
It is because that's part of his equipment. He has drones and he uses that as part of
Yeah, he uses it for the weddings and such.
Yeah.
But it would be really nice to get him on to hear his side of how anybody else that's out there that wants to step it up and bring their game up to that next level.
We could probably do something. I could probably do something on a Sunday or a Wednesday, whichever one we decide. I don't have a problem with it.
Well, the ratings would be on Sunday.
The what? The meeting.
What you say, Elliot?
Here we go.
Elliot, I'll give you this, Elliot. You stayed true to form. I'll tell you that.
He says he can
You
join.
see, look at there. Eddie just now said it. Sundays are good. Wednesdays are tough. There you go.
Got him. All right, Eddie, I'll hit you up and maybe we'll arrange something for this Sunday coming up. All right? That'll work out. I'll hit you up, Eddie, on Facebook. And
But either way, Eddie, thanks for stopping in and hanging out with those guys. You too, Jay Santiago, and everybody else in the chat. Love my drone. Thank you guys for coming in and hanging out with us. Who's this other guy? Novice Quads? I don't know who that guy is.
I think
But Lawrence,
didn't he used to do
you know this guy, Novice Quads? I'm not quite familiar with that guy.
yeah, you remember he used to break dance.
Yeah, that's the guy that danced and just,
I'm about to mute both y'all asses. End the show, man. End the stream, man.
But I'd like to thank everybody for coming in and hanging out with us. Paul, Elliot, thank you for coming in. I thank you guys.
Thank